Welcome to a podcast that we're making. Hello.
Hello. I'm Cambria.
And I'm Brittany.
And we're going to tell you about some weird stuff.
We are. That's what we're going to do. Today we are talking about Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek story.
Available on Amazon Prime.
It is, as of our recording this.
Recording.
I guess we want to talk about how we picked this episode because it might seem kind of... it is a random documentary.
Yes.
It is.
Several years ago, I picked it up on Netflix, I believe. Was freaked the fuck out. And having a really hard time watching it. And so I immediately texted you, my best friend. I love you so much.
I love you so much, too.
Thank you. Because I had to have a companion to help me watch it.
And then I was like, on my phone, I was like, okay, girl, what platform, what show, what timestamp?
And we synced it up.
Yep, we synced it up, and we texted the entire time, and we were terrified together, and we laughed together, and we felt like crying a little bit together.
Because it was very scary.
Yes, but we survived, but it's a very fond memory in our friendship.
In the rearview mirror, looking back. Wow, we got suckered in a little bit.
We did.
Yeah, because on second watching, I have a little bit of a different perspective.
Yes. What is it they say? The bloom is off the rose.
Yes.
And also, it's a lot less creepy the next time around.
Yeah, it smells a little funkier a few years later, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's been in the back of the fridge.
Yeah.
And it's not... You know what? Let's get into it. Tell us about it,
Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to start out where you always start out, which is the opening credits.
Yes.
It opens with this super ominous music, and then it's extra, period, ordinary, period, the Stan Romanek story, all in one, and I'm like, oh my God. I noticed something I didn't notice last time, which is very interesting to me.
Oh, no.
Remind me of the title of this film one more time, Cambria.
Extraordinary?
Yes, and whose story is it?
The Stan Romanek story?
Isn't it, though? Story by Jack Roth and John Sumple.
Why do we have a story credit?
It's suspect now. It's all suspect. So then we get blank screen, prologue. I was like, oh my God, this is so formal, you guys. Stop. This is aliens.
It's serious stuff, Brittany.
It really is, though. Actually, it is.
Yeah. Well, yes, it is.
This becomes the most irritating part of this movie for me. On-screen text. It says, Stan Romanek is the centerpiece of the most documented extraterrestrial contact story in the world. And the multitude of evidence he has collected over the years challenges conventional beliefs.
Beliefs are bullshit.
And I'm just like, okay, also I have to point this out. This is in that hokey typewriter font.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to the X-Files.
Yes. Also, not a capital to be seen in the whole movie.
There are all sorts of bad grammar.
At first I was like, wait, but shouldn't Stan be capitalized?
Nope,
Apparently, no. Fades to black. I'm ready. No, more on-screen text.
Yes.
Still no capitals. You bastards. As you're about to see, the evidence is mesmerizing. Fades to black.
Yes.
Very excited. I'm ready to be mesmerized. And then...
I want to believe. Show me some aliens.
Right?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I am here. I'm committed. Let's do it. More on-screen text. No capital letters. We don't care. What surprised us the most, however, was Stan and Lisa's... Who's Lisa?
Yep.
Ability to overcome the gripping fear, emotional pain, and relentless ridicule experiencers encounter. Like,
it sounds like a movie trailer.
Yes, and I like how I'm reading it like this.
Exactly.
I just think it's so overly dramatic.
Yeah.
You think we're done. We're not done. Still more on-screen text, and I want you to guess how many capital letters we got in this one.
I'm gonna guess... 0?
You got it. It says, being abducted must be harrowing, but so is the isolation that constantly follows the misunderstood. And then it says, Stan is most definitely misunderstood. What?
That's a really weird justification that might come back later.
I think so. I think that's some foreshadowing, even though I don't think they mean it to be. So we have our lines of text in the middle. This is so nitpicky. And then what they do in the very bottom corner is do, this is his story, ...
It was trite when they made it.
Yes. And here's the thing. We know it's a story. Yeah. That was the title of the thing. Was that it's Stan Romanek's story? Or is it John and Jack's story? I don't know. Whose story is this?
Maybe it's Lisa's story.
Maybe it's my story.
This movie is really the catalyst for us.
This is our movie now.
This is our
we are
movie
taking
now.
ownership. This is ours. So then, ready, right? It says this is his story. No, we're not ready yet. More text. We can't have full knowledge all at once. We must start by believing.
Yes.
Then afterwards, we may be led on to master the evidence
Okay.
for ourselves.
That sounds like bullshit.
Thomas Aquinas. Theologian.
Aquinas?
Is that how you say it? I don't know.
I have no idea, but that sounds like a part of your body.
It does. It sounds like a horse's penis.
Yes, an equestrian penis, an Aquinas. That's exactly what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like.
I'm so sorry. I just said penis in our first episode. I said it again.
If you're a veterinarian, please let us know the
Yes, is that what it's called?
technical term for a horse penis.
Finally, we're moving into the actual, like, meat and potatoes of the thing. Meat and potatoes. Potatoes. We get a little subtitle that says, The Evidence. And it's down in that bottom corner again. And they've done a delightful little, J.J. Abrams post-effect light flare.
Yes.
And at first I thought that was, like, is this the goddamn UFO in the corner? And they're fading into it? That's brilliant. Oh, no, it's not brilliant.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like a PowerPoint.
Right?
Effect.
So we kind of open up and it's square footage, right? It is super shaky. You have to kind of assume it's old.
Yeah, it makes the Patterson Bigfoot footage look like Lord of the Rings. Like
It really does.
Yeah, it's like the cinematography.
This is Michael Bay on steroids, just shaking. So we're watching this. And we're hearing Stan, we're assuming it's Stan. At this point, it better be Stan, it's his story. So he's like, please be working this. I gotta calm down. And then, this might be my favorite part of the movie, and it's real sad because it happens at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. But then he says, this is a quote. Mark, wait until you see this. You're gonna have a frickin' canary.
Do you think he means coronary?
Oh my god. I was like, a freaking canary.
Maybe he means he's gonna lay an egg.
Oh, God. Hey, Stan, it's a coronary.
Also, Stan doesn't know. He doesn't.
But I did rewind that several times and watch
It's pretty
Canary and laugh my butt
Frickin'
off.
canary.
A frickin' canary. This is very poorly edited. A lot of times I don't know where we are in time.
Absolutely.
We are bebopping around the
Gosh,
timeline.
this
I don't know.
This is a huge complaint of mine as well. We're like always jumping around.
So it's December 27th, 2000. This is where this footage is coming from. Stan is up in the mountains and he says that he's taking some video for Lisa. We hear about Lisa again.
Lisa, yes.
He says that this is his first encounter. He says that as he's driving, he sees something out of the corner of his eye. It's flying around the power lines.
Yeah, he says he thought it was a weird cloud.
Oh boy.
Which I would like to point out, not that I want to be endeared to Stan at all, but I would like to point out of everyone you know who was oft saying that weird clouds are UFOs, Brittany. That would be your friend Cambria.
That's true.
I know they hide in those weird clouds.
But some of them have been, though, for real.
Some of them have legitimately been UFOs. We'll talk about it in another episode.
It's true.
Yes.
Maybe we need to start documenting everything.
That's a good idea.
It'll be the Brit and Cam story. Extraordinary. What's up? Take that, Stan.
And then we do 2 X's because we're ladies.
Yes. So documenting this first, he says that he sees it flying around the power lines.
He calls it a multisphere?
A multisphere, and he draws it in one of his
later
doodlies.
on. That's right, he does.
So he's panning around the sky, and of course he's zoomed in and then is panning around. So it is just like a motion sickness nightmare. Yeah. He finally finds it and locks onto this little thing, but he's so zoomed in, it's kind of like buzzing around the middle, right? You can't really focus on it. And so they actually make a still of it.
Yes.
And then it says 12/27, 2000, about 11:45 a.m., multisphere UFO above power lines on the way to Red Rocks. Now, Red Rocks is not capitalized. I don't know if this is a Red Rocks park. No, I don't know if this is a city. I don't know if this is a rock he likes to visit.
Where he occasionally pulls over to pee.
You know what? That's actually probably
true.
It
makes a lot of sense. Oh, do you want to know what my notes say about this?
Huh.
Aliens aren't interested in guys with goatees, Stan.
Again, on-screen text.
Yes.
Stan's list of evidence is long. And then we have like snippets from a notebook kind of flying around like the DVD screensaver that are all like bouncing around like everywhere. Yes. It like straightens them out into like 10 pages. It says that he has over 195 documented events. There's a very annoying typewriter sound in the background. And the first thing that pops up is UFO sightings, which I'm super, super excited about.
Love it.
It looks like a lot of UFO sightings. Like, I'm not going to lie, I think that might be the biggest category. I was like, holy shit.
That does seem like a lot.
It's a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah.
Then we get some night vision footage at Stan. Eyebrows in full display. And he says that he saw a flying red light out of the corner of his eye. He didn't really pay much attention at first. That lit up the whole area. And this was in September of 2001. So this is like almost a full year after
later.
that first UFO sighting. He has a lot of footage of these, so there's like a big sphere with, he keeps calling them beams.
Uh-huh.
UFO
He
beams.
uses the word beams as a verb a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they
then-
beamed me.
Mhm.
They,
Beamed
excuse
the
me,
house.
excuse me. They what? I want to hear about someone beaming you.
Beamed.
Yeah. There's one that's just from a few days after that where there's like a big red blinking sphere UFO. It beams his van.
Uh-huh. Beams his van.
And he said that he chased it toward another park, Old Stone House Park.
Little known fact, aliens love swing sets.
They are just a magnet for aliens. And then, okay, so then, this is going to be a tangent. There's another one in 2007 where he says, at my UFO watchtower walk, one puts on a show for everyone.
Oh.
So I was like, that's cool. What's a watchtower walk?
Oh, you don't know about that? You don't know about this? I can't finish this joke because I don't know either. I was trying
You're
to
about
be
to
funny.
find out. And you know what?
Oh, you Googled it?
Girl, this was an hour of my time.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
Tell me,
I did
Brittany.
some Googling.
Okay.
The website is amazing. It's like pastel, almost like pastel tie-dye. You got 3 columns of bright text. You got a dancing little alien.
Oh, so like GeoCities.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I love it.
real nice. It's real good. I love it.
By the way, no shade because that is the time when Brady and I came of age.
Oh, yes. Every time I stumble across a website like that, it actually warms my heart a little
It's
bit.
like an artifact.
It is. It's like a beautiful antique.
Yes.
And it needs to be protected.
Absolutely.
Above all. Never change this website.
Absolutely
If you're
not.
listening, is it Judy? Don't change it.
It's perfect.
So this is in Hooper if you're in Utah.
Utah.
Hooper, Colorado. They have their little tiny graphic of a little dancing alien, and it says, have you ever wondered what a real UFO looks like? Have you ever wondered if
Seen
there's
one.
life on other planets? Judy of Hooper was wondering the same thing. So she created the first, and she does have in parentheses that I'm aware of, UFO Watchtower registered trademark.
Got it.
It is basically out in this beautiful stretch of
Is
desert.
it like a club? You get together with your watchtower friends?
Oh my God, you have no idea.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, you're going to have a heart attack.
love
In
it.
fact, you're going to have a canary.
Freaking canary.
You have a freaking canary. Seriously, this is amazing. It's
Okay.
all open sky. There's no light pollution.
So cool.
It's this building out there. They have staff that will like talk to you about aliens and UFOs. They have a campground.
Nice. Wait, we're going.
Yes,
We're
we are.
going.
We are. They have a garden that you can walk through that's full of peaceful offerings for the aliens, and you can bring your own thing and leave it there for the aliens.
What kind of things?
Whatever you want.
Any kind of thing?
Whatever peaceful offering you want to give.
Ooh.
This just made me laugh so hard, so I have to tell you. It seems like the person who runs this place is Judy. She sounds amazing. I love her already. I wish this story was about her. But she has a donation section, which is great. They have a P.O. box that you can send donations to. It says to help keep UFO Watchtower registered trademark alive. And then they have a list of needed items.
Oh.
Oh boy. Everyone sit down.
Oh gosh.
This is from their website.
Okay.
Military night vision equipment.
Okay.
Black helicopter.
Wait a second. Do I just send it to the P.O. box?
Access hatch.
Access to what?
I don't know, but they need a hatch for it.
Okay.
Large nautical compass.
How is a nautical compass different than a regular compass?
It's large. A Geiger counter. Heavy duty metal detector.
Okay.
Steel benches / seatbelts.
What?
Here we go. Flying objects of all kinds.
all kinds. A frisbee? Can I send her a frisbee?
Probably good. Biohazard suits.
Okay.
Phone booth.
Oh, what?
Playground equipment, because we know aliens love swings.
Absolutely.
Aerial photos of the valley.
Okay.
Chairs.
Oh.
Big satellite dishes in all caps.
Don't be sending us your DirecTV bullshit.
Big satellite.
We want those big ones from the 90s, from the 80s that were humongous.
There was one in our backyard when we moved in.
My neighbor had one.
Okay, we're almost done.
Okay, sorry.
Moon rocks.
Okay.
Seismograph equipment.
Okay.
Dollars and cents.
Sure.
Star charts and maps.
Those seem
Oh,
easily available. Why do you need someone to send them to you?
No idea.
All
Google it. I love you, Judy, but go to Ask Jeeves.
You can do it.
55-gallon drums of outdoor silver reflective paint. Merry-go-round.
Oh, because again, second only to swings.
Our merry-go-round. Reflective vinyl. Jetpacks.
Oh, perfect. I do have one laying around.
And I find this one actually a little bit offensive. Weather balloons.
Oh,
How dare you?
appropriate.
That's not a funny joke, Judy.
That's not
I'm just
funny.
kidding, Judy. Judy, I love you. Golf carts,
Okay.
four-wheeler / trailer, lasers. and a light beam.
Mm.
A beam!
So we can beam things.
We can beam things. How are you going to beam a van if you don't have a beam?
Could you?
You know what, though? I love that Judy dreams big.
Me too.
Big as that beautiful sky.
You can't get what you don't ask for.
It's true. Why not put it on there? Maybe someone will give you a helicopter.
Maybe someone will send it to the P.O. box.
No. Okay, so we're getting kind of to the end of the sightings, right?
Yes.
So most are photographs, not film. There's like a silvery cylinder that he says he sees going over his house. He said it looked like it was going to hit his house. There's a big triangle thing outside his work. There is a UFO that he says is stalking them on a plane. So they're on a plane going to the UFO Congress convention in Nevada.
Congress?
I think that's what it said.
Self-important word. I did see that picture, though, out the window.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Some of these pictures are fucking weird.
They're pretty good.
That one out the window for sure was one where I was like, hot damn. There's some where I'm like, that could be a few different things. I'm not gonna dismiss them out of hand, though.
Even the first multi-sphere, I was like, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Looks good to me.
It was about as good as any other UFO
Agreed.
shit I've seen, and better than some.
Agreed.
You know? Now we get into the equations. We jump in with ominous music. I don't want to be ambushed with math.
No.
I feel very upset.
Yeah.
I feel personally attacked.
You know those weird S's you used to draw in the 90s on your notebook and carve into your locker?
Yeah.
I just kept waiting.
Three lines.
Yeah. All these equations, and I just kept expecting to see one of
Yeah.
those in the background.
We see lots of pictures with like circles and shapes and stuff.
One that looks a little bit like a sixth grader's diagram of the birth canal.
Yes, we do have one of those. There's also one that looks like a boob with an arrow.
Yeah, nice. Space tits.
Again, we don't get any context here.
They don't tell you where these equations
No.
came from, just that, hey, there's some equations now.
Yep. I'm just skeptical because it looks a little bit like gibberish. I don't doubt that it could be real math, but they do zoom in on one and say, like, again, this is via text, not anyone telling us or explaining anything, but it says it's the Drake equation. And I would say that as someone who has done a lot of rote memorization, I don't think it would be that hard to memorize this stuff.
No, sir. They
No.
weren't that long.
I wish they connected a few more dots between them to be like, here's how it's all connected, instead of just being like, here's this one equation that is definitely real.
Check it out. He wrote down some math stuff.
This is so dramatic. Again, for math, what are we doing with this Hitchcock music? We're seeing all these equations that are written in white, like on a chalkboard background. The chalkboard noise, I was like, who do I sue for this? This is what I wrote for this next section. The violin music is violent. They have this big, long scrolling equation. We have more arrow boobs. We have doodles. We have numbers.
So many square roots.
I feel like when they found an effect they could do, they just really leaned into it. Because we're like, Twilight Zone, we're spinning through space. We are surrounded by equations. That violin music is physical assault at this point. And then I saw something that made me laugh really hard. I had to rewind and go back. Around minute 8 minutes, 7 seconds. The word cheese is written. Cheese. Just cheese. Numbers, cheese, numbers. I love cheese.
Everybody does.
Oh my gosh, why are we not eating cheese right now?
Why did Judy not ask for cheese? Because I would be asking for cheese.
Wouldn't that be great? Aliens and charcuterie.
My gosh, that's my dream.
That's on my bucket list now. Now we're getting to abductions. Let's be real. I mean, that's what everyone wants to know about. I mean, UFOs are cool. They're cool. But abductions are like next level, right? Yeah. I have to say, I mean, not that I would want someone to be abducted. It sounds scary. But I feel like we had more math, and I'm really upset that there was more math than abduction. I feel that
it's kind of a bait and switch.
This timeline is insane. This is the same time that he was like talking to camera, night vision style. He woke up the morning after he saw that triangle-y UFO at his work, right? And he says, this is a quote, "Something must have happened." And that's all he says. We get some drawings of the aliens.
You want to see this picture of aliens I drew? There's 3 of them.
We gotta talk about these alien drawings. They all look like Karens.
Yeah, they
Straight
sure do.
Up.
Yeah.
They have giant blue eyes. They have like long sleeve crew neck shirts on. And then they have the really severe like early era Kate Goslin haircut. And they also have eyebrows. And the eyebrows are angled in such a way that makes me think Karen is not pleased. Yeah. I did write down, "Take me to your manager," but I don't know that I can say that.
And also, like, the one is like overly feminized.
Yes.
It seems like it's important to Stan that we know that one of them
is a
was
lady. And that lady was real interested in Stan.
A lot of questions for Stan.
He says that he wakes up and he has indents on his back.
That, okay, look exactly like a screen grab from the pilot episode of X-Files. They look exactly the same. Yeah. Exactly the same. Brittany, exactly the same. Not a little bit. Like, exactly.
Did you check if it's exactly the same thing?
I have very recent. I watched the first episode of X-Files not that long ago. It looks almost like. It looks almost exactly like it.
I wonder if they pulled it from that. Ta-da!
So cool.
And he says that he has these marks around his wrists.
Yes.
He says it looks like he'd been, quote, roped up. And I will agree. They look like rope burns, Stan. They look like rope burns, Stan.
Hey, Stan?
Hey, Stan, I'm not going to kink shame, but they look like rope burns.
Look a lot like
my
rope
guy.
burns. Here in this abduction section, Stan's diary says, "Dear diary, woke up outside again. Doors are locked. I had a bloody nose and I was pissing blood." Like, okay, didn't need to know about that part, but that's
It
fine.
sounds like maybe you need to go to the hospital, Stan.
You gotta go to the hospital. So before they show us anything, they say that we checked the surveillance cameras that were installed weeks earlier.
Convenient.
And he says that you can see something beam the house. The video clip is one of, just like you said, it's kind of like black and white security footage, and it just kind of shows like the side yard of his house or maybe the backyard. And then further back, there's maybe the road. But then suddenly, there is a spotlight. There's like a spotlight on the ground.
It looks like a flashlight to me.
You think? I thought it was a little bit, it was so straight down. It could be a
It looked
flashlight.
like a really heavy duty,
Like
a mag light.
The beam of light kind of moves around for a little bit.
It
It
beams
kinda
around.
goes-
I'm sorry, excuse you.
Thank you very much. Listen, I appreciate you keeping me honest here.
You know what I appreciate most in this documentary is good grammar.
Yeah. Yeah. So it beams around a little bit. It comes over to like where the camera is. It like comes towards the camera and then the camera cuts out. They go on to explain to us that the next day there are like flash burns on the siding around the camera. And there's pictures of it. And that's kind of what it looks like.
I couldn't figure out. I was kind of like, that's weird. That is weird.
It's like what do they call that? Like an arc, kind of, right?
It's kind of like narrow at the top where the camera is, and then it kind of widens toward the bottom.
Exactly, yeah. You can definitely see like some marks. There's maybe some scorching or like some schmutz or something, some dirt or something on the outside, and then it's like very clean and white underneath the camera. The next thing they show us is Stan filming some guys just like repairing that siding. And there's text on screen that says, "The landlord didn't hire anyone to repair the siding."
Gasp.
I imagine, I can't be sure, but I imagine he's like sitting behind a bush filming these guys, and he's like, "I don't know, it's fishy." And so then it moves on very quickly. These are like come at you rapid fire in this first little bit.
And that's the thing. It's like, this is the stuff. Why are we moving past all this interesting stuff so fast?
And I hate the way that this is set up. It's like this first half is like all this rapid fire evidence.
And then we repeat the documentary.
Yes, exactly. And I hate it. It's awful.
I wish they would have gone chronological.
Me too.
And put all the interviews where they go.
Or even if they're doing them together, I actually don't mind that, but I wish they would have put the interviews with it at the time.
Because really, when they start the second part of it, I'm like, all right, what is the rest of the show going to be? And I'm like, oh, it's the same show again.
It's just
we're just going to talk about it instead of putting text on the screen with very aggressive
and then
music.
What's cool is that we decided to then talk about it again.
Yeah.
You and I.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we stuck in a loop? Is this like Groundhog's Day?
Snake eating itself. What's that called?
Hey, welcome to the podcast where we review this movie every single time.
Episode 2 is us reviewing podcast of reviewing the movie.
It's the Stan, Romanek, Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. That's exactly it. So Stan calls it fishy, but then we move on to 2006, May of 2006. Stan's UFO journal says, "Taken again. This time, they fixed my knee. Found another grass circle in the backyard."
Which is the world's tiniest crop circle, can I just say?
Yes,
it's so tiny.
This is the first we're hearing of these grass circles, so I don't know why we're talking about another one.
He references, like, something that's happened previously, or when he says, like, when are we going to see you again? And I'm like, when did we see you the first time?
Exactly.
What the hell is going on?
I mean, there is a perfect circle of, like, kind of patchy grass. Later, when we come back to this encounter, when we're doing the interviews portion, I wrote that it looks like when you leave your kid's kiddie pool out.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh my god, I've had that before.
It's like when you leave the kiddie pool out for like 4 days, and that's too many days.
And then your grass is like, help me.
Exactly. So it's not exactly dead, but it's like kind of yellowed and browned, and it's kind of flattened.
That's a perfect way to explain it.
Thank you.
Kiddie pool.
It's maybe, what would you guess? Maybe like 8 feet
at the
very
diameter. At the very most.
Yeah.
It's next to their swing set.
I wrote it's in between the swing set and the hole in the fence. The 10-foot hole in the picket fence.
Living the dream.
Yeah, it's all very, very classy.
Yeah, I would say it's between like 6 and 8 feet.
Yeah.
So it's not huge.
Yeah, 6 seems a little bit more right to me. It shows Stan with another bloody nose. He's just skin bloody noses all
Maybe
the time.
he has very dry fascia in there. Maybe
that
his skin
happens.
is very dry.
Listen, we also live in the Intermountain West, and sometimes that happens. We have dry winters, we have dry summers. It's dry all the fucking time. And
Right.
sometimes you get a nosebleed. So they show a still of him, and he's got his nose kind of in a splint. He very much looks like he got punched in the nose. And then it shows his leg, and it's kind of the, like, inside of his knee, kind of the, like, halfway between the outside of his knee and the back of his knee. And it's got these holes, kind of similar to what we saw on his back. When I saw those pictures of what we saw on his back, they were a little, I felt like they were a little bit raised, and these are not.
And they were also, the marks on his back I noticed were irregular shapes, where the ones on his leg seem very evenly spaced, like perfect circles. It doesn't seem like, maybe it's a rash.
No.
That's not a fucking rash.
No. They maybe span 8 inches, and they're about an inch apart, and they are like perfect little holes, like as if he had been stabbed with an awl or something. Yeah. It's just like these perfect little round holes. In that still, there's an Atkins for Life book on the shelf behind him.
You know what I gotta say?
I could not stop laughing about it.
From his like first regression, we saw him there, and then we saw him. He's lost some weight.
He's slimmed down a little bit.
He's got a nice haircut.
That's a good point.
Eyebrows for days.
There's only so much you can do with brows like that.
You know, I think at that point it's to just lean into it.
You gotta go for it. I totally agree.
Right?
So for some reason I thought that was way funny. I kept trying to read more books in the back. There's like one of the Dummies series, but I couldn't see what it was for.
Faking an alien abduction for dummies.
Yeah, exactly. And then like 2 phone books, which
Oh my god, that dates this so much. Oh, that's wild.
And I'm not going to read it word for word, but the next little section, it's just black screen, and it's just audio recording, and I guess it's with Stan's doctor? We get a little bit more information about this later, but for now, it's just like Stan talking to a dude. And it starts off with Stan saying that he has 0 swelling, 0 bruising, he can run up and down the stairs. He says to the doctor, "My knee brace is just gone. It's gone, doc." And the doctor is like, "Well, I mean, I guess if you're feeling better, that's good, I guess." Stan goes on to tell us that later they found the knee brace. And if this is feeling like disjointed and like you don't quite understand what is happening here and why was Stan wearing a knee brace, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's because I don't know either.
That's because we haven't repeated this documentary again to find out why all this shit is happening.
Just this weird little
snippet.
It
is infuriating.
I hate it.
I'm like, who is Lisa? What happened to the knee? Where were these aliens?
How am I supposed
Where's
to
Karen's suit? I just don't know.
Shut it down.
Podcast canceled.
So we've jumped ahead a couple of things.
Oh, boy.
There's text on the screen that says, "Christopher Moon comes to the house for ghost investigation." Hey, we never hear about Christopher Moon, other than this mention. Never hear from him again. Don't know who this guy is.
Where did the ghost come from?
Apparently it's ghost now? Who knows? So they're playing these EVP recordings, and it sounds like a very low purring kind of, and then there's some chittering, and supposedly if you mess with the speed, you can hear this female voice say, "Starseed, it's time." I cannot put into words how hard I laughed on this second.
This is where do you want me to let you finish your
sentence? I am so excited for you to do it because I'm 95% sure you're going to say the same damn thing I was going to say.
I don't know. No, you go first.
Okay, fine. Who doesn't love a Canadian alt-rock band of the 90s, Our Lady Peace, and their amazing song, Starseed?
Starseed.
Starseed. Starseed. So then it gets very real and scary.
Oh, God.
There's a segment of videos and pics, and they give like a subtitle to this one, and they call it Shadows.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Exactly.
Where's the handle? Goodbye.
So
I'm done.
They make it seem, when you're watching quickly, that they all happen in one night.
Yes.
But I went back and took note, and they actually happen over 4 years. This is not cool shit. I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. In that very, very first one, I don't see anything.
Where?
I don't see it.
Where is it, though?
But the next one, there is a woman identified as Lisa. We finally get to see about Lisa. We get to learn something. She's a woman. She's a corporeal.
She is not a shadow?
She is not a shadow. She's sitting on the stairs, right? And there's like kind of some small talk going on. it didn't seem important. And then a shadow moves across the frame, like between whoever's holding the camera and Lisa. And it very much looks like if someone just like walked across your door and then shadow came into your room as it happened, except it's all at night and it's very creepy. And I have the literal goosebumps right now, Brittany.
It's super creepy.
Very creepy.
I think you probably could fake something, but I think it would be hard to do.
Sure.
Because it almost looks like it passes between. You're not seeing his shadow and then someone behind him, like there's a light there. You just see shadow.
Shadow.
I don't like it.
Very scary. In this rapid fire section, it comes at you again, and there's a still shot that kind of is looking up a staircase into like a hallway that is kind of open on one
to the
side.
entryway, yeah.
And in the corner, oh my gosh, it's like if there was a person standing there casting a very dark shadow, but there's no person there. There's like a head and a shoulders and a body, and the person looks to be about person height, like 5'6", maybe 5'8", maybe. It like fills up.
Too much, too tall.
I don't like it.
Any amount of tall for a shadow like that is too tall. I like them on the ground, no inches tall.
Thank you. Thank you
0
very much.
inches.
And we move on to the next one, because again, these are kind of rapid fire. Another shadowy figure, very similar to that, standing in a room kind of behind the recliner. Stan, at this point, he's kind of giving like little bits of kind of narration a little bit here, but didn't say anything to me that I thought was all
Nothing of substance, I would say.
He says that he calls them shimmers.
Sounds so positive.
Yeah, I know, right? God. No, it's not. It's very scary, Stan.
If I saw that in my house, I would not say, you know what that looks like? That looks like a fucking shimmer.
Burn the
no,
house
it
down.
doesn't. It looks like Satan himself, and I do not believe in Satan.
But I'm definitely afraid of him.
But I'm definitely afraid of whatever the fuck that thing is.
It's standing in the corner behind the recliner, and the cats are standing, like, looking back. Very scary stuff.
Also, when an animal starts acting like that, that's when I get a little bit like, oh, fuck,
no, absolutely
what is that?
not.
Whenever there's something weird happening in my house and my dogs are not going bonkers,
It's probably
I'm like, you know what, it's probably, I just heard a noise. When my dogs freak out, and they have before, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done. It is a monster.
My dog's too dumb. That's not a thing.
My dogs are just super neurotic.
I like your dogs. All right. So I will say that the one behind the recliner is a little bit less defined.
Yes.
Like, it definitely looks like a person, but it's not like head, shoulders, torso, legs, like the one up on the kind of railing is. So then the next one is also very defined. It looks like someone's a little bit hunched over, as if they're just kind of like walking through the room, and they're kind of leaning forward a little bit. This one's holding the remote, says Stanley.
Yes, which I paused. It doesn't look like a remote
No,
to me.
I wrote that down.
All right, thank you, because I was like, hey, Stan, that is not a remote.
I said, this one seems to be holding something. Stan says it's the remote.
Stan says.
Well, maybe that's where my second and third Roku remotes went, because we're on our fourth.
Do you have shimmers in your house?
Why would you say that?
You don't have shimmers in your house.
Here, I hope not. And then there is one more shimmer. I think Stan says he's in one room, he hears a noise, he goes to the other room. The thing that's creepy about this one is it is like very close, like conversation distance. And it's not like against a wall. It's standing in the doorway.
It's weird.
In the doorway.
Yeah.
It's
not on a surface.
No, it's just like free of everything. It's just like a dark, and it's also very like person looking, like head, body. All right, so we're done with High Strangers. We're moving on to interventions. Why are we calling it interventions? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, so Dear Diary, it's April of 2004. A strange woman stopped by and put something in our mailbox. That's the text on screen from Stan's diary.
Yeah.
It's a postcard. I think it doesn't really say, but it shows it, and it looks like a postcard to me, and it's addressed to Stan and Lisa. Good luck on your move to Colorado, and remember, we're watching. Stan says a few months later, he writes in his little diary that he was jumped while he was riding to work on his bike, and that the people who jumped him told him he better keep his mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut, Stan.
Yeah. There's some pictures of this. Again, Stan looks like he's been punched in the nose. And I said, bro legit looks hurt. Like, he's got a big scratch across his face.
He does. I compared it to Scar in The Lion King.
Yes.
And it's a slash.
Yes. It looks like it when you really got your sister with your fingernail and then you had to peel her skin out from under your fingernail. You know, you remember?
You have removed a chunk of skin.
Yes, you have sisters. You know. We get it.
I mean, that's a wound.
It's legit. And then he's got like some road rash on his neck and shoulder. Because he says they knocked him off his bike. Just like all of these. We're going to hear a little bit more about it later.
Put a pin in everything. Yes, we're coming back to it. We're going to circle back around.
And then in like a year, in January of 2006, do you remember that classic Windows 1998 screensaver where you can type in, you know, anything you want? You can type in like penis or whatever. And then it would take that word and it would like make it like a bad 3D rendering. And then it would bounce that thing. And it would bounce off the... Exactly. So we get a video of that, or maybe a still of that, I can't remember. And it says, "You can't hide." Ooh,
that's
so
menacing.
Spooky, so
menacing.
And Stan says it's on all of his computers.
Yeah, well, and it's on, like, where you have, like, your name for your home
Yes.
computer, like, family computer, it says, you can't hide.
Yes.
And then, like, on the toolbar and all the stuff says, you can't hide.
Yes.
Which, I admit is creepy, but you could also just do that to your own computer.
Well, I mean, but why would you write it?
You
trying to write a book or something?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I was abducted. What do you know about it?
Well, we're best friends. I would hope you would tell me.
I definitely would. You would be the first person I would tell.
Thank
Cambria!
Well, I'm just going to go like this. I'm just going to be like wide-eyed, mouth open, and have no good advice for you. But I'm here with you.
Call a documentary crew.
Yeah,
That's what
there
you
we
do.
So it says you can't hide. Next, he's got videos of him walking through the house and all of the speakers, like the great early 2000s speakers that are like, you know...
Giant.
Yeah, they're like bigger than a shoebox. They're these humongous speakers. And they're all buzzing.
I will say, though, he says it's turned off.
Yes.
I think it's probably still plugged in, though.
I wrote that down.
There are forums where people are like, my stereo's off.
Yeah.
My speakers are making this weird buzzy noise.
It's like a high-pitched ringing.
Yeah, it's because it's still plugged in and there's something wrong with the speaker.
Yeah, and like, 'cause that's like the sound of the electricity. That's
Yeah.
what I like to think
Yeah, it's like it still has power. It's
Yes.
just not turned on.
Right.
It doesn't mean it doesn't have any electricity.
So then in 2007, that's the year of Stan, Stan says all of his medications keep turning up melted. We don't know what kind of medications these are, not
Yes.
important, but it shows a whole bunch of pill bottles,
Yeah.
and they look melted.
Yeah.
Like, the pills inside are kind of crusty, the labels are, like, scorched, the bottles are melted. At one point it shows, like, inside a medicine cabinet, and the shelf underneath, like, the plastic shelf inside this medicine cabinet, is also kind of melty.
Melty?
Ooh. What if these pills are like for like toe fungus? Like, why do the aliens care if Stan has toe fungus? You know, if they were like some sort of psychiatric drugs, I could get why Stan would be like, they don't want me addled or whatever, which of course is not true. Take your medicines that you are prescribed. They're important. You're important. They're important. You deserve to feel good. If it was some not psychological thing, why would they care? And if it was, like, what are you talking about?
It's weird.
So now we're moving on to encounters. First, we're going to talk about some orbs. The first one is a red light in the backyard. It's hard to tell, but Stan says it's kind of like floating around the garbage, like some sort of space raccoon. It's just like bopping up and down. It's like, that's what it looked like to me, is if you put a red Christmas light on top of a raccoon's head, and then you watch that raccoon in perfect darkness rummaging through your garbage.
And you were like, have at it.
Go crazy. And so
Whatever
it kind of
you want.
moved in kind of an organic and random way. And, you know, raccoons like garbage. So that's my theory.
Yeah.
And then there's a third one that shows a video of Stan trying to track one with his eyeballs. So it's like showing Stan.
Yes.
And he's like trying to look at it. He looks like a crazy person. And it seems to like disappear into the wall. It like hits the wall and disappears. And then they zoom in on that and the paint is bubbling a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It almost looks like water damage.
Can I tell you the truth?
Yes.
It looked to me like as if you took a hammer to a wall, because it's about that same
Yeah.
size as the head of a hammer. It's about, and then you patched it real bad. And now you're trying to tell your landlord that I didn't patch it real bad. What happened was there was an orb.
It was an orb. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what you want me to
I need my
do.
deposit back, please.
Listen, dog, I need that deposit. The next one is another exterior shot. I don't even know if they're the same house. So there's like a patio or something, and there's like pillars that kind of hold up the roof, like 6x6s, like lumber pillars. And then it comes like shooting over the house like a shooting star, but very small and close, right? So it comes down across the frame, kind of over the house, and then it kind of disappears for a second, and then it's like it floats back into the frame, but now it's underneath that roof, and 'cause it goes behind those little supports. It looks like it's maybe like baseball size.
Just
From what
fairly
I can tell.
large for an orb.
Absolutely.
That's a hefty orb.
That's a hell of an orb, my guy. Meanwhile, in the house, there is a similar looking trajectory of an orb inside the house, and you can see it inside, like as if the light is both outside and inside at the same time, in the same spot.
That is creepy.
High strangeness indeed.
High strangeness.
And then the last one here, Stan is filming outside of his window into his own driveway, and there seems to be like an orb, and it's kind of like doing almost like figure eights,
Kind of peaceful, like.
Yeah, doesn't seem very scary at all. Stan is like, "What is that? Oh my gosh, what is that thing? What the heck is that thing?" Like very animated.
Yes. That is a word we could use.
Yes.
Animated.
And now, what we really want to talk about.
Yes.
Visitors.
Yes.
Visitors. So the very first fucking video.
It's the Boo video.
It's the Boo video. It's Stan's most famous video.
I saw this video before I saw this documentary by years.
I had
Mm-hmm.
not. So Stan is like got his, I'm assuming it's a camcorder because it's like 2001 or something.
Oh, it has to be.
The whole window is the entire frame basically, right? And this little motherfucker just like whack-a-mole style pops this little alien head up, and it's just like an alien there in the window. An alien? It's an alien in the window. Brittany, it's an alien in the window. I don't know what else you want to know.
You know what really freaks me out about that is that it pops up kind of slow, right? Like it's being sneaky. And then it ducks down with such speed that I just about peed my pants.
So
not okay.
Oh my God, it's so upsetting. It's got a very bulbous head, right? Kind of that classic alien head, very small chin, gigantic eyeballs, and it's very, very upsetting. That's probably where I texted you the first time that I watched this and was like, "Can I watch this alone? Help me out." So then it shows us all sorts of other little alien snippets. So we get the alien selfies, right?
I said baby's first selfie.
That's what I said!
And that's what it looks like. It's like your chin with a little piece of mouth, and then you maybe try again and get a little more of your nose in there, and that's it.
Yeah,
like that's it.
It's wild stuff.
Next they have a bunch of still photos, right? Which the video, I'm not gonna lie, is way more fun.
Yeah.
Still photos are fine. They're cool, but like they're still photos.
Yeah.
It's like, Where's Waldo? Spooky Alien Edition. An alien by the deck. And then another alien by the deck on the other side of the deck. Now an alien in the yard, nowhere near the deck. And then there's, I have to say, the most upsetting picture in this segment. I don't know if you remember this. It is a dark photo. You see a little bit of grass at the bottom.
Yeah.
Dark. Then they zoom and enhance it.
Yeah.
And it is literally a field full of aliens.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's like The Walking Dead, where you see zombies in a field and you're like, I'm gonna get my face eaten.
It's very like the way a child would draw it in a scary way.
Yeah, and they all do look a little bit different.
Yes, just like aliens, like a horde of
and
them.
then totally dark.
It's not good.
It is real bad. It is real bad. I think if I saw that, I don't know what I would do. I might just be like, yeah, I'm done.
It's over.
Just in general, I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe just like, what's the right tense for the word catatonic? I would just be like, that's it.
I think it's beamed.
Beamed, yes.
I would just beam right out of there. I'd just be beamed.
Yep, don't like
It's scary to look at, and it's even scarier because they don't start with the alien photo. They start with the dark photo, and then it's like, and guess what's out there? It's like when you're in the ocean, and it's like you can't see below you, and then you're like, oh, there's definitely a million sharks under me.
1 million sharks.
Literally a million sharks. I am chum. Yeah. Like, again, consider me beamed.
Yes.
I'm done.
Beamed. I'm just going to float here.
I'm
eats me.
beamed.
What I think we need to take from this section is that the weird kids zoom and enhance drawing is so scary.
It really is. Then we get to, this is kind of a weird one because it's another video. I'm not going to lie, it's not as fun as the Boo video. The Boo video
I don't know. This one was pretty upsetting to me.
It's upsetting, but I feel like it's, I don't know. It's still creepy, just different. The setup for this, we don't really get a ton of context.
Not here.
Nope. There's on-screen text again. It says, Grandpa Gray, no explanation, bright flashes of light, woke up on kitchen floor at 1:35 a.m. That's all we get.
Yeah.
And then we see, it looks like someone filming from a window out into the street. You see a mailbox, you see a street lamp, a little puddle of light. Everything else is kind of dark. He says nothing outside. And then he kind of turns around, camera's still rolling. And then, this is, I can only describe it as acting because he is like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? Holy shit, what's it doing? It's
what is it doing?
It's not.
He says, what is it doing like 4 times?
Yeah, what is it doing? What is it doing? What is it doing? Oh my God, oh my God. It just feels so put on.
It does.
It really does. At this point, we haven't seen what he's oh my godding to yet, but he turns the camera and he sees an alien through the sliding glass door.
Like full up.
Yep.
Like there it is.
Like most of its body from like torso up, kind of leaning over sideways, and they have a staring contest for a minute. The worst part of this video is the alien slowly retreats.
Slowly.
So I don't know, now that I've said both are bad,
listen,
they're both bad.
The alien has seen Jurassic Park and knows that Stan's vision is based on movement, and if it goes very, very slow, Stan won't be able to see him. Do you know what I've noticed too? It's really sad that the alien's necks don't move. That poor alien leaned his whole goddamn rib cage into the... His entire ribcage, like, down to his hip dips are, like, in there. And then the whole thing just, like, levers out so slowly. This alien stands there, doesn't move, doesn't look like he's breathing, and does not blink. It's just completely dead static.
Yes.
Levers on out the sliding glass.
Yeah, it's like he and Stan lock eyes.
Yes.
He hears Stan's terrible acting. It shocks him so much that they just lock eyes until he, like, his torso snaps back into place.
Exactly.
Some of these, I don't know, they look kind of fake sometimes, but there's also moments where it's like, that's genuinely, even just the thought of it is very scary.
Yes, and honestly, the first time I watched that, it scared me very
It scared
bad.
the shit out of me.
It wasn't until the second time that I was not, like, petrified of that.
Even that Boo video that I had seen before,
it's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It is. It's scary. And then we get to what they call the Audrey calls.
Yes.
Which they don't ever really explain the origin of the name.
No, they
right?
don't even bring the name up again ever.
Yeah, no. Stan gets a call in July 2004, and he's left a voicemail.
Yeah.
It's a recording. We hear the robot voicemail voice. You know, you have one message.
Yeah.
The voicemail robot also says that it's urgent. I don't know. It's been so long since I've had an answering machine. Could you mark your message as urgent?
I think you can on a cell phone.
But it's like a home phone.
Was it?
They film it later, yeah. It's a cordless on the wall.
I don't recall.
I don't think that was an option. So it says, robot voice says, this is urgent. And I was just kind of like, okay. And then we hear this fancy British lady voice.
Yes.
I apologize for being so forward. It did not take us long to get your phone numbers. Our surveillance is mostly for passive monitoring, but it does come in handy. I cannot tell you who I am for safety reasons, but I can
Whose safety? Your safety?
Who
Stan's
knows?
safety? My
Who knows?
safety?
General safety? Airplane safety? I don't know. So she says, I cannot tell you who I am for safety reasons, but I can tell you that your perceptions of Stan Romanek and his experience are real. Isn't she talking to Stan Romanek?
Yes, and if a robot voice leaves you a voicemail that says, yep, it's real, like, I don't know what more evidence you want.
It says, as you probably noticed, Stan is slightly different.
No, BS, like, hard stop there, my guy. You look like a unemployed uncle from some 90s sitcom. Stan, you are not advanced, you are not special.
He's a starseed, Kim.
No, he sucks. He sucks and I hate him. I love aliens. I hope that all those aliens went on to have wonderful lives. I have no idea what the lifespan of an alien is, but I hope they're doing very well today. Stan can
kick rocks.
Yeah, Stan can be abducted and not come back. That's fine.
That's fine with us.
Just take him away.
So, as you've probably noticed, Stan is slightly different. The way he thinks, the way he perceives the world, seems to be more advanced than usual.
No.
A little Will Shatner there were periods there. The interesting thing is that Stan has no idea who he really is.
And nor do
Oh my God. I can't. This is part of the thing where it starts to fall apart for me. Where it's like, he's just a guy, and he's not even that great a guy.
No. Oh, no. Hey, Brittany, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad man.
We'll talk about him more later, but
he is.
He is
Hey,
bad.
Hey, spoiler alert, you guys. Stan sucks. We won't tell you why. Because unlike this documentary, we're going to go in chronological order.
Heyo.
So then it's August of 2004, same year, 1 month later, another voicemail. So they're actually recording the phone with their camera. Fun story. I had this same phone in high school.
Oh, cute.
So Lisa hits the button, right, on the machine, and it says, Hello, Stan and Lisa. My intention is not to scare or alarm you, but to warn you. It's great that you're back in Colorado, but Colorado Springs was not a good idea.
Yeah, what does that mean? Why? What?
It seems you have moved into their backyard.
Who's they?
Now it is easy for them to get you.
Who?
Who knows?
And here's the other thing. They never say for sure. Are we saying that these voicemails come from an aliens and then this aliens is then warning Stan about something else? Like the Men in Black or some shit? Or are we saying that the voicemail is the Men in Black warning about the aliens?
I have no idea.
They never say.
It's Audrey.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. That's an interesting point. You're right. So is it
No,
an
I agree,
alien
though.
named
It's
Audrey? Is it a Man in Black?
exactly.
named Audrey?
We don't know anything.
No.
Maybe it's because they don't know anything.
Well, that's
but they
fine,
should
but
clarify that.
yes.
They should say, we got these mysterious calls. We have no freaking idea who this was from.
Yes,
We
agreed.
don't know. But we're going to play them for you because they're weird.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean? Like,
totally
I would have been fine with that. Like, sure, it's a mystery. That's great. I love a mystery. We're doing a podcast about
About a
mysteries.
mystery.
But, don't just leave me with something like that and then be like, I don't know.
Crazy, right?
It cuts back into like, I know how stubborn you are, Starseed, but please heed this warning.
Barf.
And no, I know, right? Audrey says, listen, Starseed, you know you're different. Follow your instincts and stay alert. This is too important. Soon it will all be revealed.
It sounds like dialogue from a bad made-for-TV movie.
And Starseed, do not be afraid of what you are. Haunting music, words fade out. I don't know.
Sounds like a Pink Floyd song.
It really
does. I wrote down,
does.
like, very, like, ethereal,
right?
Weird music.
To me, it sounds like someone who wrote fan fiction about himself.
Yes! That's a really good way to describe
that
this.
he is the hero in this weird alien
because
saga.
He's different and special.
And
in
he's
his
a
instincts,
starseed.
And he's advanced. Blech.
Yep.
I hate it.
No capitals, though. The next section is called, quite ominously, The Children. It's 2009. Stan is outside. We are seeing pictures of cats. The cats are very cute. I would kidnap these cats from Starseed. They're adorable. The on-screen text says that a little girl jumped out from behind the grill, and he said she's, quote, scared the heck out of me. And then he posts this picture. There's the cute kitty on the deck. The focus shifts and zooms in between the two railings.
Yes.
Betwixt the railings, there is a girl's face. I don't know about you. This looks photoshopped to hell to me.
That's exactly what I said. The
Her
worst
eyes?
photoshopping I've ever seen. Even like the way that
the
it's
scale
shaded,
is bad.
Everything is bad. I think the point is that this child does not look completely like of Earth. So the eyes are supposed to look big.
Yeah.
But that it doesn't look in any way natural.
Yep. No, not at all.
And not like because children don't look like that, but because like faces don't look like that.
The scale of her head is almost as big as this very cute cat.
Yes.
The cat is a normal sized cat. You know what a cat looks like. An average sized kitty cat. Her face is huge.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm glad that you thought. Because I was
totally
like,
agree.
this is really bad. Also, this is so funny to me. They run all these pictures through every filter, negative exposure, emboss, all this stuff.
But like, what is emboss? That's like literally a filter on Photoshop.
That's what I'm like, what are we doing?
Like for aesthetics.
But here's the thing. That's not accurate.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's going to look like something different because you've manipulated it,
Right.
not because it's there.
Yeah.
So running it through these things, I don't understand the point of that.
Me neither.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Later, he and Heidi are talking on the phone, and a little girl interrupts out of nowhere. This was my other thing. Is he just always recording people?
Yes.
That's upsetting.
No. Because at this point, I assume we're in what? Like 2004, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there.
This is 2009.
9. Okay, thank you for having the date. At this point, he's recording everything on
everything. So I'm like, okay, so he's just recording his conversation with Heidi. Little girl interrupts, and the little girl says, Daddy, don't worry, we're fine. It's too dangerous for us here right now. You couldn't protect us even if you wanted to. That's kind of a creepy thing to say. We didn't mean to interrupt your call, but we thought you should know. There are 9 of us.
Which is a number that is extremely inconsistent.
Yes.
Every time they bring it back, they talk about 7.
She says, I'm the oldest. My name is Kioma. It means Trinity. And Heidi, for you, my sister's name is Trilly. It means shine. Couldn't find Trilly anywhere in any kind of dictionary,
no, because
by the way.
Aliens.
It's made up. I guess all names are made up.
Yeah.
Brittany. She says, Daddy, we know that you're excited about your talk this weekend, but please be careful. There are some that don't want you to talk at all. Sorry for the bad connection. It's all we have for such long distances.
And it does get very, faded out.
Yes.
There.
Yeah. The audio quality gets worse. And it was bad to begin with.
Yes.
If we get disconnected, it means that we have, and then it cuts off.
And it just seems so unnatural. Supposedly this girl's an alien, but even the way that they respond. So did you notice when they lose, what's her name? Kioma? So when they lose her, no one says like, oh, hello, are you there? Like, what do you do when a phone call drops? Do you know what I mean? Like, you say like, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah.
Right? And they don't do that. They're just like, oh, she's gone.
Oh, no. She sounds very...
She sounds like a grown-up trying to sound like a small child.
Yeah.
Like when you watch people who do voiceover work where they're grown-ups talking like a child, that's what she sounds like.
It is. And even her cadence and things is weird, which again could be an alien thing, but also...
she's an alien, Brittany.
So now it's June 11th. Lisa... Sarah, we don't know who Sarah is, they're messing around with some cameras, they're looking at pictures, and they realize they captured a little girl looking in the window. I think this is bullshit.
Me too.
Stan's sitting in front of a window, they have the flash on, and the window outside is dark. It's night, right? I was about to say it's midnight. Ooh, I don't know. Spooky. Spooky time. Ooh. It just looks like a smudge on the window or something in the corner. It's just an amorphous blob. I don't see any facial features. No. I don't see anything that would make me go, that's a person, let alone a little girl. Yes. It doesn't look like anything.
I agree completely.
They do the emboss, exposure, saturation, and I'm like, okay, guys, it's not there. It's not there. Hey, guys, we gotta stop doing this.
And then don't they find like a handprint on the window later or something?
Yes. Let's see. Oh, maybe I have that later. Oh boy, let's see. Because again, I've watched this documentary 14 times because this documentary repeats itself a million times.
You only have to watch her once to see it 3 times.
That's true. They go outside and they take a dollar bill and they put it on the ground next to these footprints from supposedly where she stood.
Yes, that seem tiny.
They're smaller than the dollar bill.
They're smaller than the dollar bill, and the shoes are like Mary Jane's, no tread on them. Like a doll shoe. It's like cartoon footprints where it's like a heel and then the front part of the shoe.
Or when people try to fake a big footprint and they don't account for the arch in the foot or anything and it's just all flat. I'm like, that's not how feet work, my guys. It's not how it works.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, if I wanted to hoax things, I'd hoax it so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He says at one point, like, I think someone's playing a joke on me. Have you ever in your life, as a real person, said those words? Even if you thought someone was playing a joke on you, have you ever in your life said those words like that?
No.
I think someone's playing a joke on me.
Well, and then we get to the handprints.
Yes.
So it says that on the window, there's a handprint. It's hard to tell even the size or anything because there's no scale.
There's no scale. And then one more thing they show is this, like, them going outside and chasing down this girl. But then they show the plant that survived the winter. Did you see that? Hey, my guy. Those are fucking impatiens. That's literally what those flowers are known for. That's what those flowers are known for. How many times in your life, Brittany, have you seen impatiens through snow?
A lot.
Almost every year.
Yeah.
That's what impatiens do. That's
They're hardy.
their whole thing.
They're hardy.
That's how you know.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that.
So dumb. All right, so 2010, so I guess this is after all of this, but before we took the picture, or maybe after we took the picture because nobody knows. There's another one of these calls between Victoria. Here we go with Victoria. We got nothing. Who is she? This is the first I remember hearing about Victoria. Unfortunately, not the last. They're calling each other, and one of the kids has interrupted. So we kind of come into this call halfway.
Yes, again, yeah.
And this childlike voice calls Stan Daddy. They ask, hey, is this Keoma? And she says, yes, it is. Stan says, I think this is some joke. And it's the stiffest, like, most unnatural dialogue I've ever heard.
Is he acting again?
He's acting. Yes, he has many things to say. Keoma says, oh, you're silly, Daddy, for saying that it's a joke. That's not how that would go. They both kind of ask, like, when are we going to see you again?
Again?
Yes, because Victoria is, like, calling her sweetheart and is, like, super into this. And she says it in this very little cheeky voice. She's like, well, we might be able to come see you at your talk. Because apparently...
Oh, did I just spoil the surprise?
Oh, we're coming to the talk. Apparently, Stan is speaking at the Aztec UFO conference. And at that talk, he says that he notices a strange-looking little girl in the audience. And after his talk, she runs up to him and gives him flowers and says, I love you, Daddy, and runs away. They show pictures from this event.
Yes.
And sure enough, this little girl, it's like a profile of her, right? And it's in like some hotel ballroom or whatever.
She's like listening to a lecture. Everyone's facing the same direction.
Yep.
She's sitting in the audience.
Exactly. She's got definitely kind of a strange profile, right? She's got very Romulan-looking, Spock-like, kind of a pronounced brow. Got very
those Karen
big
eyebrows.
Eyes. She's got like those turf bangs with a very short little blonde. And it's very compelling. It's like, oh my gosh, we got these things, right? She looks to be maybe like 12 years old. You know, still definitely a little girl, not like a huge teen. Hey, did you note at the bottom of the screen where those pictures came from? Who took them? Who took them?
No,
Me?
who took those? I didn't notice that. Tell me, please.
Stan Tiger Romanek. Moving on! So we get another pretentious quote, this time from some philosopher, John Stuart Mill, which I don't know who he is. The quote is, there are many truths of which the full meaning cannot be realized until personal experience has brought it home.
Okay.
That's cool.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Because quoting philosophers is always cool. I've never met anyone who quotes philosophers that I like.
That's an excellent point.
And bad luck.
Hey there, weirdlings. This is Editing Brittany from the future. When Cambria and I picked this documentary for our first episode, we had no idea how much we would have to say about Mr. Stan Romanek. Rather than leaving you with a very, very long first episode, we've decided to break it into 2 parts. We hope you'll join us next week for the thrilling conclusion of Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek story. And in the meantime, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at whatsitsandweird and on Twitter at whatsitspod. If you have an idea of something you'd like to see us cover in the future, you can contact us at whatsitsandweird@gmail.com. Keep it creepy. Extraterrestrial pals, out.
And they're like, you're not appealing to Brittany's emotions. And I was like, yeah, because this is an academic paper. And also, I'm just not good at that.
And also, Brittany's very emotional. She doesn't need me to...
Please, listen.
If I appeal to her emotions anymore, she will have a stroke.
You know those shows where, like, an acorn falls off a tree and then there's an avalanche that kills a village? Yeah, that's my friend. No, that's not.
Yes. I mean, it's a little bit true. I even have that in my notes. Okay, so let's do, like 10 seconds. Okay, no, I don't know how we're going to start this. Okay, do we want to start with podcasting first? 10 seconds, and then we're like, shit. Shit.
Okay.
This podcasting's harder than it seems.
Are you recording now?
Oh, yeah.
These are great outtakes.
We have 22 minutes of audio so far.
Can we just piece what we've already said together?
Where we talk about, I don't know, freaky stuff. Not that kind of freaky stuff. Shit, we gotta start this over.
Different kind of podcast.
Oh, God. I think it'll just make me go, again. Like every sphincter in my body went, no!
How are your bile ducts? Is everything going okay?
Real bad, I might need to go to the hospital. That's why I keep telling Ben I need to hog no snake. Maybe if I bug him about him enough, I'll get one in a P.O. box.
That's a great idea.
Just kidding, I wouldn't put a snake in a P.O. box.
I mean, you get them somehow. Where do they come from? Did they not ship them?
Oh. When a mommy snake and a daddy snake love each other very much. I have after the peekaboo alien in the window.
Got it.
Terrifying. Is that why it's called the Boo video?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, that makes
love you
sense.
so much.
Okay, yeah, well. Maybe they're all the same species, but they're like people and they all look different.
But you have a head and I have a head. Like,
Did one of them not have a head?
No, they all had it.
Ah, I fell.